Okay. What the? My goodness. Oh. Jesus Christ. Nice to see that there's literally no one here. uh, oh shit. Uh, my god. Oh, you are here. Why, hello. Um, okay, I'm just gonna like say real quick is that for one, the stream is gonna be very scuffed because I do not have a proper second monitor and I don't have a proper second monitor, so I had to steal a spare TV from the other room. So the TV is sitting on my floor, which means I can't actually see the chat properly. And second of all, it is 1 a.m. right now where I am, so I am in a lot of pain just doing this. So that's nice. How fun. Well, we're gonna wait for. We shall wait for everyone to start streaming in. Oh, that's nice. The fucking. Has the footage just stopped all of a sudden? I don't think it has. I lied. It has. Fun. Ain't that fun? Just kill me. How do you even stream? Oh. Well. Yeah. I suppose I'll wait for some people to stream in first. Maybe I'll start going through the I shall start going through my actual notes in I'd say 10 minutes in. Also, I'm really starting to realize my stream is just not moving whatsoever. This is very concerning. I see. Oh, ain't this scuffed? How fun. Great, thanks Streamlabs. Just fucking kill me already. Oh. Oh, I lied. It's not working. Thank you to the one person in chat. Once again, I am just saying it is 1 a.m. in the morning, night for me, and I am. Everything in me is dying. Jesus. Okay. You know what's great? I can't. I guess I'll just make small talk. The reason why I'm just doing this at 1 a.m. is, unfortunately, I do live in Southeast Asia, which basically just means that the only good time to actually do such a live stream is either 1 a.m. or 5 a.m. And that sucks so much in ways that you do not understand. Because most of my viewers, if not all, basically is based in America or Europe. Oh, just kill me already. Just fucking kill me. You know what's gonna be even better? Is that I know for a fact that at best I'm gonna get maybe 20 people with the world's slowest chat imaginable. Which means basically I might as well be talking to a brick wall, which is great. But then again, I feel like I'm kind of used to talking to a brick wall and just ranting. We'll wait like 10 minutes for people to start streaming in. If anyone has weird questions about, you know, the list before I start ranting about my honorable mentions and whatnot, do ask. Whoops. Also, if anyone is wondering what the hell the videos are that are playing on the overlay, it's Subway Surfers gameplay, so everybody actually listens and, you know, pays attention. And also the other one is literally just a POV of the world's greatest Overwatch player, Quartz, playing this scuffed. Oh, great. Fantastic. Hell yeah? Yeah, hell yeah, dude. Well, once again, if you got any questions, shoot about, you know, the best albums list, please do shoot it. Once again, I am so tired. You do not understand. There is something so fucked up about having to drink. I think I drank 2 coffees and a cup of tea. The 2 coffees one was drunk, I think at 7 p.m. The other one was drunk at 10:30 p.m. And I've just finished the cup of tea. The Subway Surfers is working on you? Yes, of course it does. That's I feel like that is why TikTok is so addicting, isn't it? And short form content, vertical short form content. It's because they just put Subway Surfers, and it's insane. It's either Subway Surfers. I've seen people use Temple Run, and I think the reason why they use both is just because it's vertical. It's just a vertical game, and it just suits so well for TikTok. I mean, you aren't ever gonna see anyone use fucking Jetpack Joyride, you know? It's just you're never gonna see anyone use fucking Flappy Bird, you know, as the footage for, you know, slop content on TikTok. It's always Subway Surfers, I swear. It really is. It's the perfect gameplay footage to get your attention. Also, you might be wondering why MC Ride is where a webcam would be at. The reason why is because I don't have a webcam, and frankly, I am the world's ugliest piece of shit. So it's best if MC Ride takes my place. God damn it. Okay. Well, it's almost 10 minutes. There is a grand total of 7 of you. Well, it's good enough. All I'm saying is that I'm just very tired. So if this stream somehow gets cut early, it's getting cut early, guys. There is a non-zero chance I just fall asleep during this stream and I end up this ends up becoming a DJ Academics moment while he was listening to that one Drake album. Okay, it's 10 minutes. Let's actually start talking about the list before I fall asleep. Once again, class, if there's any questions, type in chat. Great. Let's get on to the notes. See, unfortunately, once a writer, always a writer. You just have notes for everything. Okay, let's actually talk about it before I actually fall asleep. Jesus fucking Christ. Just kill me already. Okay. Fuck. Where do we start off? Yes, I already know where we're starting off. Let's talk about the albums that didn't make it, because I'm not gonna lie, I think a lot of people, the few people at least, that piped up that why wasn't this album here, or why wasn't that album here, unfortunately didn't really get the memo that, didn't really get that this list of mine is basically only 15 albums that I actually talked about, and a further, I think it was 20, it's 20 albums. You can actually see it right here. It's only 20, well, you can't see it because fucking Subway Surfers and fucking Overwatch gameplay is blocking it, but let me there we go. There's 20 albums on the honorable mentions list, and there is a further 15 on the actual written list. There isn't a lot of albums, if I'm going to be completely honest. I find having 50 albums on an individual person's list is just way too much for most people, if I'm going to be completely honest. Unless you are a publication or a professional album reviewer, I don't think most people really need to have fucking 50 albums on their best of list, especially if you're just a normal layman, you know? If you're the Quietus or Pitchfork or the Wire magazine, completely understandable. You know, if you're Anthony Fantano, I get it, but I think 35 is a good number for me, personally. Anyways, let's actually talk about albums that didn't make it into my actual list. Whoa. Lost Thuthunka. Thuthunka? Is that how you actually say it? Thuthunka? Yeah, Lost Thuthunka didn't make it, unfortunately. My single sentence note on it was basically, I get it, but I also don't get it. Which probably just sums up my entire opinion on it. Oh, wait, hold up. What kind of stream is this? The horrible kind. The very bad kind. It's the kind that is being done at 1 a.m. my time. That's what type of stream this is. It's very scuffed. And also, if you'd like to know why my voiceovers in my videos can sound really shit all the time, generally sounds like shit, is because I as you can tell, I do have a bit of a stutter, a bit. Yeah. Anyways, Lost Thuthunka. Unfortunately, I know a lot of people love this album, the Lost Thuthunka album, but I personally just didn't really get it, and I don't really fault the album in itself. I tried it, didn't fuck with it. I don't know what it is. Maybe I was about to say, I initially thought to myself that, I'm too old for this. I'm only 24 years old. I just turned 24 like a week ago. So I am not too old for this. There's just something about it that just doesn't appeal to me, I think. I just don't get it. It's a me thing. It's a me thing. It's not even the album's fault. But I do admire it, is what I'll say. I do admire Lost Thuthunka. I keep saying Lost Thuthunka. I'm just reading it now, and it is Lost Thuthunaka. Fuck this shit. It's 1 a.m. my time. Just It's 1 a.m. I'm so tired. Lost Tunka is for certain people. IMO, maybe it's like you had to listen to more chaotic stuff when you were growing up. Yeah, kind of. But I do have a lot of free jazz albums normally, like free jazz and free improv albums on my list. So I don't know if it's just I'm not exposed to it. I think I'm trying. I've been trying to make heads or tails for the past few days about why I don't get this album, and I cannot for the life of me. I cannot for the life of me figure out why I don't. Because this is, and as we talk about albums that did the albums that didn't make it list here, this album feels like it should have made my list, but it didn't, and I don't know why. I really, really don't know why. I cannot for the life of me really figure it out, other than I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't I Oh, if you can tell, I will never be. What's your favorite free improv album? Mine's Topography of the Lungs. That's a good pick. The Evan Parker album, Topography of the Lungs, is great. Um, are we gonna count Machine Gun as a free as a as a free improv album? Oh, also, it's not kind of chaotic. It's wait, what? Oh, I cannot read all. Apparently, it's not kind of chaotic free jazz. It's chaotic in a way your little brother plays the MIDI keyboard, but better. That's actually not that bad a comparison, actually, to Lost to Tanaka. Nailed it. It's okay if you think me butchering this album's name is bad. Just wait till we get to the fucking. Just wait till we get down here, and it gets really fucked. Um, you're actually not wrong. I think that is actually quite a good description. Um, it is like it is like observing your little brother, of which I have one. Um, just fuck around on the MIDI keyboard, on a Casio keyboard. I don't know. I think what I'll say about this album, Lost to Tanaka, I'm really nailing this pronunciation. No, I'm not. Is that I think I'll get it in like 5 years when I revisit it. Also, continuing on free improv, I fuck with Evan Parker a lot. I really do fuck with Evan Parker a lot, even though, I mean, so much of his stuff is so esoteric that it kind of goes over my head sometimes, if I'm gonna be real. But I do like his stuff. I love a lot of his. He has one with Han Benek. Wait, no, I'm pretty sure wait, isn't the topper the oh fuck off Topography of the Lungs? I'm pretty sure. I think it's a collaboration with Han Benek. I might be very wrong about that, but he has another one with Han Benek that I really like, of which I cannot for the life of me remember. 1 a.m. guys, 1 a.m. It's let's look at my watch. It's 1:02 my time. Sue me. Okay, well that's enough of the Lost to Tanaka. We got a lot of albums to actually. Okay, this is another one that I got a few comments about where OK Lou was at. Let's get to the next song here. I'm like actually putting background music for all this shit. I got quite a fair few questions about where OK Lou was, and this is yet another case of I don't get it. Maybe I can't even say that I'm too old for it, because it's so fucked up to keep saying that I'm too old for it. Once again, 24 only. So, I remember I think I read the Pitchfork review for this album, in which the writer said that this album is essentially OK Lou. Is it OK Lou or is it Ok Lou? By the way, I haven't even done the research on how to pronounce her name correctly. Let's go with Ok Lou, I guess. I like the description Pitchfork's review of this album gave, which is this album is basically Ok Lou, kind of. It's her basically kind of pushing against the the kind of denseness of most of hyperpop, right? Instead, like exploring the quieter, more subtle side of the genre or the approach of pop, which I actually, it's not that bad of a descriptor, but I think, I don't know, is when I think of pop albums that is released through the year, throughout 25, all I could think is this album just kind of sounded boring. Even though I liked certain songs on it, I liked Obvious. It's Obvious is a very good song, and I like Blade Bird, but I think maybe it just doesn't work. Maybe it just doesn't work as an album, or maybe it just doesn't work for me. Yeah. Um, it was really soft on the ears, but sadly boring. I agree. Yeah, it was boring, but it also, a lot of people did like it. Which I'm quite glad that a lot of people liked it. Because it is all in all, overall, it is quite the esoteric pop album, and it's very bold. Weirdly enough, despite how quiet it is. It is quite the bold album to make, especially in the current landscape of what, you know, hyperpop, like a lot of pop that's influenced by PC music sounds like, which is very dense and bombastic and colorful and in your face, and she just kind of strips it back. I admire that. This is what I'll say. I like talking about Choke Enough more than I like listening to it. I think I'll just leave it at that. I think we shall leave it at that. Um, Another one that I got a few comments about is where was Ethel Cain in all of this? Because I think for most people that you would probably have one of the two Ethel Cain albums that came out this year, which is Willoughby Tucker. Wait, hold up, new chat. One of my friends called Choke Enough Brat, but it's boring and blue. Yeah, that's actually not that bad a comparison, actually. It is Brat, but just a bit more boring and slower and sadder. Yeah. Yeah, it's basically PC music, but stripped down. It's basically PC music production if they played it on NPR's Tiny Desk. maybe maybe that's one way to describe it. I don't know. But yeah. Anyways, another question I got in the comments of my best of albums video, which where was the Ethel Cain albums which released this year? Willoughby Tucker, I Love You, and Preachers. Um okay. As you can tell, if you look through the list, you would know that I actually had quite a lot of folk music on the list. Let's bring up the list actually. Pam. Well, actually, I had quite a fair few folk albums on the list. So I had End of the Middle. I had the Raktako album. I had the Shirom album that I really love Shirom. Um and I guess what I'm trying to say, okay, I don't know if Willoughby Tucker could be classified as strictly folk. I guess you could just call it singer-songwriter, but that's such a cop-out of a goddamn genre name. Um, I think I like my folk music kind of weird. Yeah, I like my folk music very fucking weird, and it's not a boring album. Willoughby Tucker, I'll Always Love You is not a boring album. It is a very, very good album. It's just that I think it's just a taste thing. It's yet another taste thing in which I like my folk music fucking weird as shit. I don't know what to say. And Preachers, I feel like Preachers is actually my favorite of the two. Of course it is. It's weirder. Um, I think what makes Preachers interesting is, for one, the backstory to it. Which, if you don't know the backstory to it, just fucking Google it. Um, but also it's quite the departure. Yeah, I like my folk freaky. Yeah, that yeah yeah. I like the freaky folk shit. Um, yeah, that's probably why I like ethnomusicology as a approach, as a study so much, because you just hear a lot of weird shit. You just hear a lot of weird shit. Anyways, Preachers between the two is, I guess, my favorite, but apparently not favorite enough to make a top 35. Um, yeah, I like the drone slash dark wave slash ambient slash experimental classical. Huge question marks on what the hell the genre descriptions are on on Preachers. It's a weird album. It obviously for a lot of people it reminds them of Anna von Hauswolf, of which she actually released an album also in 25, which I'm not even gonna talk about. um, yeah, I feel like if I was 3 years younger, I would have really liked Preachers. But I think out of all the albums that came out this year, albums which kind of explored kind of very subtle sounds, I guess drone and drone. Wow, I'm 1 a.m. brain is really fucking hitting right now. I think I look at something like CC Valo, which I guess to some degree also explores the very droning sounds, quiet sounds, subtle, whatever. Um, Preachers just, I guess I've grown out of the sounds of Preachers, is what I'm saying. I think if I was 3 years younger, I would have loved it so much, but I have unfortunately listened to a lot of albums that sounds pretty alike to Preachers. So there's that. But yeah. Oh, here's where we get to the free jazz and free improv talk. Yeah. I feel like for most, in comparison to most people, my lists usually have more free jazz and free improv albums than most. Um it's not, and that's just mainly because if you watch my free jazz video, you know why I like free jazz a lot. It's one of my favorite genres. Um so as like generally there's just more free improv, and which is quite surprising for me at least, because on my list I for some reason in the month of November decided not to include the Ahmed album or the Anna Hogbeg album, which I don't know why. But no, actually I do know why. Let's talk about the Ahmed album first, because I am a massive fan of Ahmed and Pat Thomas. Pat Thomas's album with Hamid Drake was 9. Let's just bring it up. 9? Yeah, 8 actually. It was 8 on my list. Um yeah, so I feel like Sama, which kind of translates to audition, which is basically a complete cover or interpolation of Ahmed Abdul Malik's first album, Jazz Sahara. I'm pretty sure that is his I think Jazz Sahara is his second album. Aha. What in the world is going on screen? Aha. I see you have just arrived. The Subway Surfers gameplay is to hold everyone's attention, and what's there on the bottom left is the POV of the world's greatest Overwatch player, Quartz. That I will just say right now, I am a huge fan of Overwatch and Overwatch esports, and I am gonna spread my love, my niche, you know. Yeah. MC Ride is looking very handsome. He always does look handsome. So many of these albums have super hard to pronounce titles. Yes. Yeah. I kind of fucked up with I really fucked up with my I mean, just look at these fucking names, dude. Just kill me already. The fuck? You know, like do I do like, oh, it's like if I do the proper Arabic pronunciation with the proper throatal sounds, I would sound so shit. I mean, I would sound borderline racist, which is funny. Consider whatever, and the Ensam Seglaren fucking nailed it. By the way, I specifically searched up how to say this Anna Hogberg Attack album. Anyways, what I'm trying to say, god damn, I really, this is 1 a.m. By the way, if you're just tuning in, 1 a.m. I really am just doing this whole thing at 1 a.m. This album audition, was Ahmed's very first properly Ahmed's first album that was fully recorded in studio in comparison to all of their albums over the past 8 years they've been a band. And somehow the problem, right? The problem with this album, it's not Ahmed's fault. Actually, it kind of is their fault. Is that they had to follow up an album called Giant Beauty from last year, from 2024. This, I put it as my number 2 album of 2024, but in hindsight, I think I should have put it as number 1. My number 1 was Diamond Jubilee, by the way, because of course it was. In hindsight, I think I should have put Giant Beauty, because this album, which is a 4.5-hour album of basically 5 different interpolations of Ahmed Abdul Malik's songs, which is basically this entire band's MO. This was my favorite. This is probably my favorite album of 2024, and the fact that Ahmed, Pat Thomas, and co had to one up this album a little bit hard. It's kind of a tough task, I'm not gonna lie. So when I heard Audition Sama, I was just kind of underwhelmed by it. But in hindsight, and we will get to my very last notes, which is of which I will talk about the fact that I probably should have included it in the honorable mentions at least. I'm comparing this album to a fucking masterpiece. It's like trying to one up Kid A or some shit. I don't know what's like a good, I don't know what a good comparison is. It's just that it's kind of fucked up that this album, for as amazing as it is, basically had to one up this album, Giant Beauty, which is just impossible. And for Ensemble wow, I'm already fucking Ensemble Saglaren, fucking still butchering it. Who gives a shit? It's Swedish. I think it's Swedish. Or is it Norwegian? I'm pretty sure it's Swedish. We could totally, it is Swedish. Aha. I don't know. I feel like I really should like this album, but I don't like it as much as I just don't. I don't know what to say. In comparison to an album like her self-titled, the band's self-titled, I think it's just not as exciting. I think it this is what I'll say, right? If anyone here even pays attention to the Scandinavian jazz scene, like the Scandinavian free jazz scene specifically, and you've listened to a lot of albums from it, this album sounds like a weirder it sounds like a more freaked out version of many of the Scandinavian free jazz albums you'd listen to. Yeah. Maybe I've just gotten tired of Scandinavian free jazz. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I've listened to a lot of Fire Orchestra and a lot of Anna Hogberg's albums and Mats Gustafsson, and there's also a band called Angels 9. They have an album called Disappeared from the Sun that I really enjoy. Yeah. Although I think this is what I'll say. These two albums, not this album, Audition and this album, the Anna Hogberg album, give me like 2 years. Give me a year, and there's a good chance that I'll end up wanting to put them in the top 15. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the thing about my lists is that there's a good chance in a year or two that I will revamp all of this. Because I don't fucking know. Because opinions change, I guess. Just opinions change. Whoa. Um. Sorry, something outside of my window just happened. A bird just tried to fly in through my window. The fuck? Unfortunately, I'm not tapped into the Reykjavik Free Jazz Underground. Yeah, I don't think most people are. I think most people have lives. And unfortunately, I am sort of tapped into it, which in itself is very depressing. Whatever. That's enough albums. Let's actually talk about the goddamn list. God damn. Oh, I'm so tired. Just let me go to sleep. Oh, I'm being forced at gunpoint by this album specifically. Because you. How many comments am I. Like, it's not a popular video. It's sitting just below 15,000 viewers, okay? It's not a popular video. I didn't know. Yeah, I did. I didn't know that Geese was this popular online, and the amount of comments that I got asking, why is Geese not on the actual list? It's 15 fucking albums, guys. It's only 15 albums. There's only so many albums I can actually fucking. There's only so many albums I can actually include on the actual list. It's on the honorable mentions. I clearly love the album. It's a great album. I am unfortunately not on social media to understand that this fucking band has fucking fans. They have fans. This is what I feel like right now. This is my POV. I like the album. It's a good album. I guess it's just not my favorite rock album. When I think about the rock albums that I really enjoyed this year, like University's McCartney I'll Be Okay, or Sapiki, or 45 Pounds, and I look at Getting Killed, I think it doesn't excite me as much as an album like Sapiki. I don't know what to say. And yeah, but I like this album. I actually really like their last album, 3D Country, that's the name. I like their mix of country and sort of post-punk vibes. But yeah. Yeah. A lot of I like the fact that the moment I brought up Geese, the chat has gotten a little bit more active. That's how much people like. Okay, the thing is, I'm not on social media, so I am not aware of. I am just straight up not aware of the following this band had. I was not aware. Yeah. Hold on, I'm reading the chat. Unfortunately, my setup for this stream is really scuffed. My second monitor, aka a TV I stole from the house, is on the floor, so I have to. My neck has to fucking look down onto the floor to read the chat. The super talented, I guess the notoriety into his head and got it. As an artsy. Yep. Oh shit. That just reminded me. I forgot that Cameron Winter had an album this year. You guys are actually reminding me that I forgot that Cameron Winter actually had an album come out this year. Holy shit. Fucking hell. Oh. Yeah. I think heavy metal and Getting Killed kind of has melded into itself for me. Wait, was it this year or was it December last year? I don't remember. It's not as if I don't. Cameron. Wow, it's winter. When did the album come out? Let's see. Okay, well that's just not what I wanted to know. Heavy metal. When did it come out? Oh, December 6th. I thought it came out in 25. Ah. All I'm saying is that heavy metal and getting killed has just kind of melded into one in my brain. I've completely forgotten the fact that Cameron Winter actually got an album out at the end of last year. Huh. Oh, now I know why this album why heavy metal only registered in 25 is because all the publications only got around to reviewing it January of 25. Yeah. Like, I feel lost their essence that we're clearly in the debut Projector. Yeah, I think Projector. Oh, I haven't listened to Projector in a very long time, but from what I remember, it was definitely much more rambunctious and noisy. From what I remember, I think, if I'm remembering correctly, Projector sounded much more rambunctious and noisy. 3D Country had a lot of 3D Country sounded fun. That's like what I'll say about 3D Country, right? It sounded so fun, and that's why I like that album a lot. Something about Getting Killed just felt, I won't say pretentious. No, it's not pretentious, but yeah. I can't listen to 3D Country, heavy metal, or Getting Killed because the essence is gone. Ah, I get it. I get it. Yeah, I get it. Oh my god, I want to stop talking about this album all of a sudden. Guys. I'm looking at the guys. I'm looking at the time that I've been streaming, and I'm looking at the actual clock at what time it is, and I, I'm just being reminded more and more of how sleepy I am. I'm. What time is it actually where I'm at? 1:30. Nice. Okay, let's talk about Carolyn too. This was another album that I feel like should have actually made my list, but didn't. But clearly everyone loves it, and so do I. But apparently not enough. Um, yeah. Thank you for the platform, but yes, we can move on. God bless them, Geese kids. Yeah, honestly, I mean, I rag on about Geese, but I actually do like the band. I think they're a very fun band. I think the stuff they're doing is very interesting. Um, but yeah. Also, you are right. I think Caroline too. Of all, like, would you consider underground? No, indie. Out of all the indie rock albums that's become very popular this year, like Carolyn and Geese and whatnot, I feel like Carolyn too is one of the better ones. Phonetics on and on is probably my favorite one. Yeah, out of the indie albums that actually got quite a bit of notoriety this year. Yeah, I don't know how best to describe that. But anyways, Caroline too. Um, this is oh, fuck. What did I write about? Oh yeah, yeah. Caroline too on the honorable mentions. It nearly made the list, but it didn't. I I remember why. I'm trying to remember why. No, I remember why now. I don't know how to speak, even though it's my job to actually speak. Yeah. I wasn't tapping the underground this year. I was mainly getting through a whole backlog of albums until Getting Killed release. Yeah, I get it. Unfortunately, okay, here's a little insight into what I'm like as a music listener, right? Um I don't actually on a year to year basis, I would say maybe 50, no, like 60% of the music I listen to is actually albums that has released this year. Like 40 to 35% of the music I listen to is old records, and they tend to be a little bit experimental in nature. So yeah, yeah. Um, so if you're asking if you'd like to know my opinions on fucking the Bad Bunny record, haven't listened to it. I mean, I'm basically just talking about albums I've actually listened to. Basically, is what I'm saying. If there are obvious albums that has come out, popular albums that has come out in 25, there's a good chance I've just skipped it. If I'm going to be completely honest with you. So yeah. Anyways, Caroline too. It nearly made the list, but it didn't. I ended up replacing it with 45 pounds by here we go, 45 pounds by Yahweh Nailgun. I think I just felt so much more excited talking about 45 pounds than I was Caroline 2. But I love Caroline 2 a lot. I love how not grandiose. I like how angular it is. There we go. That's the word I'm trying to find. I was trying to find for. Okay, let's actually get on to Caroline. Yeah, I like how angular it is. This is just not the screen it should be on. Oh, the stream is so scuffed. Just fucking kill me. Yeah, I like how angular this album is. Although what I'll say is that the song with Caroline Polachek, is that how you pronounce her name? Not Polachek. Whatever. The song with her wasn't exactly my favorite. So whatever, let's just move on. Yeah. Kadeka. Yeah, let's actually talk about Kadeka. Interesting album, Kadeka. I don't know how many people found this album interesting, but I did. If I'm gonna be completely honest with this album, is that I found it more interesting to talk about than I was actually to listen to it. 90% of what I listened to was released between 1963 and 1974. Damn, 90%. That's kind of a high number, dude. that is kind of a high number. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is that the Kadeka album is interesting. I admire what Kadeka was trying to go for. I really do. I admire the fact that he tried to tackle topics such as birth, death, and legacy, and what meaning to life is. I don't think he actually succeeded whatsoever. No, he did succeed, sort of, kind of. Let me explain. Okay, I think it's a very flawed attempt at exploring these topics and these subjects, if I'm going to be completely honest. But what I admire so much is that he at least tried, right? In a very grandiose fashion as well, because I think it is, let's see, an hour and 9 minutes. It's a big album, and it's also an album that is quite esoteric for someone who started off life as a fucking FIFA YouTuber rapper, which is the worst curse you could ever have as a musician. So yeah. I think he doesn't succeed in a lot of what he tries to do and Vanish or Horizon Scraper, but I appreciate the effort, and I think based on how flawed I think it actually is, I admire it, and that's why it's on my honorable mentions list. So yeah. I feel like the ambition for this album was too high, but the songwriting was lackluster in a lot of points. Yeah, that's basically it, yeah. The ambition was too high, the songwriting was a bit too shallow, but I think it's the fact that he just attempted it and how flawed it is kind of makes me appreciate it a lot for some reason. I like the fact that he just attempted it and just failed, because I think there's nothing more human than just fucking up and failing and not really realizing your ambitions. Which, I think, at the end of the day, that's what he was trying to explore in this album. You know? What it is to be human, and I kind of enjoy that. I really do kind of enjoy that. So yeah, we've dwelled on enough. Let's continue. What's the next album? Phonetics On and On. I don't think we'll need to talk about this one too much. Phonetics On and On was one of my favorite indie rock albums of all time. Of all time? No, this year. 25G of all time. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, I enjoyed this album. Immensely. I think it's yeah, I like how whimsical it is. I think one of the things about indie rock over the past, indie rock has just gotten very serious all of a sudden. I don't know where all the whimsy and fun and charm has gone in indie rock in the 2020s, but it has just seemed to slowly dissipate as the years go by. And when you listen to Phonetics On and On, you just get reminded of how fun rock can be. Everything from, the childish violins on, I think it's 2468. I love how kind of clean the guitars are. I love all the little da-da-das in the lyrics. It's whimsical. That's the best way to describe this album. It's just pure whimsy in an album. But it's also executed very well. It was produced by Kate LeBon, if I recall. We can just see. Nope, I lied. You can't see it in the liner notes down here. It's produced by Kate LeBon, I'm pretty sure. It's a good album. It almost made my list. If my list was a top 20 list, this would be on it, is what I'm saying. Okay, let's just keep going. The Joe McPhee album. Free jazz, free improv album. This is the weirdest album on on the entire list. Yeah, this album is okay. The best way I'll describe this album is Joe McPhee is spitting spitting poems, while Mats Gustafsson, who is one of the best free improv saxophonists in my opinion, is just playing really weird, esoteric, experimental sounds behind it. Free improv music, basically, behind it. It's really good. It's very fucking weird, because I'm very used to hearing Joe McPhee on a saxophone, and him not playing the saxophone is just kind of weird to me. But yeah. I'm just saying, very weird album. I enjoy this album immensely. I really, really do. And I think in hindsight, I think I should have included this in the top 15. If I'm gonna be honest, I think in hindsight, I should have put this album, I'm just saying, where CC Vala would be at 15. Essentially what I'm saying is that if my list was a top 20 instead of top 15, I'm just saying would be at 16, and I would have probably had a lot of I would have made the choice to actually swap the two in places. But I'm just saying, weird album. Really fucking like this album. It really should have been in the top 15, now that I think about it. But it is what it is. It's only 15 albums, what can you do? And I'm gonna quickly talk about Born in the City of Tanta. This was an album as part of my honorable mentions. Yeah, this is a bit of a interesting album. This was released by Sublime Frequencies, which is one of my favorite record labels of all time. Sublime Frequencies is a record label that basically just they're basically, I guess you could say, an ethnomusicology label. They basically just explore kind of lesser known and forgotten music released all across the world. So, I mean, let's just go through. I'm a big fan of this label. For example, a lot of old Myanmar pop, things from Thailand. There's also there's this amazing album from Phuong Tam that I really, really love. I mean, this is such a good album. I would highly recommend everyone go listen to this record. It's amazing. They also have one of the earliest releases, or first release, Radio Java. This is how I first heard of them, when I came across this album, Radio Java, as an Indonesian. I found it very interesting. Yeah, I think Born in the City of Tanta was a very interesting listen. It's basically a exploration compilation of music from Libya from 68 to 75. I found it very good. I really, really enjoyed this record. Basically what I'm saying is that I really like ethnomusicology, which kind of explains which kind of explains my number 3 pick. Where the fuck is it? I'm so tired. my number 3 pick for the year, Reminiscences of Raktako. Yeah. Are they a restoration label? That's a good question. I don't think they are. I think what they do, what Sublime Frequency does, they're not like a Smithsonian Folkways record label where they're like an actual institution that does proper restorations on records. I think they're more like a collective that likes seeking out and collecting like weird vernacular music across the world and just compiling it into records and basically barely sell any of them on Bandcamp. Okay, well that one's a bad example. This one's a good example. Barely anyone bought it. I fucking lied. Well, there's quite a bit of people that actually bought it. But no, they don't. I don't think they restore. Maybe they do. Maybe they do. I'm not too sure. But I know Smithsonian Folkways does restore actual music. Okay, whatever. But yeah, I like ethnomusicology a lot. I might one day talk about the practice of it. Okay, let's get on to the actual list. Let's actually get on to the actual list. I find it very funny that I've slowly gone down in viewers from, I think, a peak of like 16 to now 3. I might as well just be talking to a brick wall, but that's okay. I will happily talk into a brick wall. Okay, let's talk. Okay, well, we're basically going from top down here, essentially. Okay, let's talk about McCartney, It'll Be Okay. This was my favorite album of the year, and I should probably also talk about End of the Middle while I'm at it. Okay, honestly, if I'm gonna be completely honest here, I think End of the Middle is my favorite album of 2025. However, the problem is that Richard Dawson has released... Oh, fuck. Okay, Richard Dawson released my favorite album of 2014, which is Nothing Important. And then he went on to release my favorite album of 2017, that is Peasant. And then he went on to release my favorite album of 2019, that is 2020. Also, it is my favorite album of the 2010s. So I find it a little bit... It leaves a bit of a bad taste in my mouth to just put End of the Middle as my favorite album, considering how many times he has just topped my list. I'm a huge Richard Dawson fan. I really love his works. I think there is no singer-songwriter that kind of compares to Richard Dawson. I think no one really makes... What am I doing? I forgot to switch over songs. I don't think there's really anybody who can do what Richard Dawson does. I don't think... Yeah. So End of the Middle really should have been my favorite album of the year. But it isn't. Because too many of his albums has topped my previous best-of lists. Which is why I ended up settling for McCartney, It'll Be Okay. Because I either way, I had a bit of a hard time. I had a hard time picking between this album and the Richard Dawson album, and yeah, End of the Middle was not for me. I might give it another listen later, but musically it didn't do anything for me. Yeah, End of the Middle is Dawson's most subtle work, low-key work, I think. Yeah, I also admit I don't have a good ear for singer-songwriter stuff. That's fine. It happens. Everybody has a different taste in music. I think what's so great about lists like mine or anybody else's is that I think it tells you a lot about someone's music taste, right? Like if you look at my fucking list, you'll realize that I like a lot of weird folk shit. I like a lot of weird fucking albums that sounds fucking weird. I also like ethnomusicology. I like weird compilations of vernacular music a lot, weirdly enough. It says 9 viewers on my YouTube app. Delay, my dude. It's gone up to 9. It was at 3. Don't worry, it'll go back to 3 in a bit. Unfortunately, the Subway Surfers gameplay is not keeping people's attention. It is what it is. It happens. What can you do about it? uh, Whatever. But yeah. Anyways, what am I trying to say? End of the Middle is Richard Dawson's most subtle work. Yeah. Yeah. What I like so much about it is because of how subtle it is, it kind of reflects the topics that he's singing about. Whereas a lot of his topics before End of the Middle tend to be almost kind of larger than life in some aspects. It's either larger in life, like, or it's kind of transporting you to a certain place in time. For example, like in Peasant, or in the Ruby Chord, or even something like 2020, where it was very much in the modern era. So yeah, but yeah, I I like how End of the Middle is just about the most mundane topics you can imagine, which is basically everyday life. It's basically just everyday life, and how tragic the mundane can be. And I like how low key it is, the instrumental is. So yeah, it would have been my favorite album of the year. I should have put it, I think, maybe, kind of. But McCartney It'll Be Okay is an album that I really enjoyed. I fucking loved the shit out of it. It's what I like so much about McCartney It'll Be Okay is that it is it's this incredible mix of post-punk and post-rock and math rock and noise as well. It's really fucking noisy and rambunctious. I love how young it sounds. I like the way it makes me feel. It's one of those albums that I have a lot of trouble trying to describe why I like it, but when I listen to it, I know why. I know I love it. I think everyone has a record or two, or just a piece of art that is kind of makes you feel a very similar way, in which it's hard to describe why you love it so much, but when you listen to it, it just feels right. That's what McCartney It'll Be Okay feels like to me. It just feels right whenever I listen to it. I like how loud it is. I just like how loud and chaotic it is. Maybe I should, you know what I'm realizing? I should go back to shitting on Geese. So I can get the viewers back up, because I swear to God, I got 16 viewers. A peak of 16 viewers while I was talking about Geese. Shit, maybe we should go back to shitting on Geese. I mean, no, I don't want to. I don't want to talk about them anymore. Let's talk about the Raktako album. I haven't listened to the Yahweh Nailgun album, but I probably should. You should. The Yahweh Nailgun album is fantastic. I would highly recommend it. My top 10 video is the reason you listen to the University album. Thank you. Please go listen to it. Thank you. More people should listen to it. It's a fantastic album. I love how rambunctious it is. Maybe it's not for everyone. I don't think most people would listen to it and go, yes, number one. But it feels right. It's an album that just makes me feel it makes me feel warm. I don't know why. It just makes me feel warm and nostalgic for something that has never happened to me before. Whatever. Let's move on. McCartney It'll Be Okay is such a good album. Okay, let's talk about this album. I got a few comments about how interesting this pick is. Reminiscences of Raktako, which is basically a little like compilation album, vernacular compiled album of Alberto Giuscamaita Gastelu. I'm not Spanish, if you can't tell. Yeah, it was released by Death Is Not the End, another favorite record label of mine. And I love this album a lot. I think Raktako, I mean, this is an album that I just kind of stumbled into, and I just completely loved. Maybe most people wouldn't consider this because it wasn't recorded in recently. It was recorded between 1930 and 1940, close to 100 years ago. But every time I listen to this record, I'm just floored. I'm just floored by this album. It just impresses me so much. If you can hear what's playing in the background right now, I think you'll understand why. Every time I listen to this record, it feels like you're just being transported to a completely different time and place. I mean, this album sounds unlike anything you'll ever hear before, you've ever heard, and I love the story behind Alberto Giscamaita Gastalu Raktaco. Let's just call it fucking Raktaco, right? I love his story about how he basically he lived to be over 100 years old, and he was so steadfast in the ways of the Andean guitar that he basically just died doing his own thing, which is just playing this music, playing the traditional music he's grown up with, which is pretty fucking cool. I'm not gonna lie. Whatever. It's my third favorite album of the year. Okay, let's nice notes, man. Another folk album. I think just now when we were talking about Ethel Cain and Willoughby Tucker, I Love You, I was talking about how I enjoy folk music that is quite esoteric, and I think these three records of mine in my top 10. I don't know where the Shidom album was put. Shidom was... Am I fucking blind? The Shidom album is number 7. Well, okay. Well, the three of these albums are in my top 10. I think they kind of tell you my taste in folk, which tends to be a bit weird, tends to be a bit more esoteric on the weirder side of things, and I think Shidom is a bit of a favorite of mine because they have an approach. Okay, so when I first heard about this band, I came across this record. It was through a review on The Quietus with, by the way, the world's scariest album art I've ever seen, by the way. I mean, just fucking look at this. What the shit is this? Like, who in the band looked at this album art and thought, you know what? Print it. The fuck is this? This is fucking disgusting. Whatever. That's besides the point. The liquefied throne of simplicity. The liquefied throne of simplicity was one of my favorite records of 2022. I stumbled across it. I really love it. I love their chimera combination of folk and post rock, but classical music as well. Their approach to folk is quite interesting, in which they basically use instruments from all across the world with no real kind of distinction between what continent or what cultures that comes from. But yeah, a shark with big lips and robot eyes, maybe. Yeah, that is what this album art is. It's fucking weird. It's so fucking weird. I remember the first time I saw this record, I remember I came across this album when I was on a tram. I was basically on public transportation, sitting all the way at the back. I was just doom scrolling through The Quietus, and I came across this album, and this freaked me out so much that I had to just check out the fucking album. I mean, just look at it. What the fuck is this? So I couldn't resist. I checked out the album. I really loved it. I fucking hate the album cover. It's so disgusting. What the fuck is this? God damn. Fuck, whatever. I like this album a lot. I like Shidom a lot. And they have such a cool approach to folk. I love how global it is. I love how slow building it is as well. It's unique. That's what it's fucking unique. It's unlike anything you'll ever hear, right? Like you listen to Shidom and it just catches you. It's not by surprise, but it just kind of grabs you by the shoulder and just kind of brings you in and just kind of pulls you in for a bit of a journey, you know? Like it's fucking incredible. This album, Hard Fallen Incantations, In the Wind of Night, Hard Fallen Incantations Whisper. What a fucking album title, by the way. Jesus Christ. Incredible album. Love this album a lot. I'm pretty sure it's 2 plus. It's 2 a.m. where I'm at. Do forgive me if I am kind of running on fumes, because I am basically running on fumes. I can feel I can feel the engine in my brain sputtering out. The cover worked, though, I guess. Yes, the cover did work. The cover for this fucking album worked, because it definitely drew me in, based on how fucking nasty it looks. Jesus Christ, dude. Like, who on the band said, print it? The fuck, dude? It looks like a, I don't know what it looks like anymore. It's so nasty. Oh, it's such a good album, but I fucking hate the album cover so much. Disgusting. Fucking disgusting. Whatever. Ugh. Yeah. Anyways, I like this album a lot. Let's just fucking... I don't want to keep talking about about this album cover. And I think the last album I'll be talking about for my top 15, unless anybody has anything to add. Has the stream gone blank for everyone? No, it has not. It's all good. It's great, because you guys can't see it, but my YouTube studio has gone fucking haywire, and it's just refusing. Oh, is it back? Was it down for a little bit? It fucking was, wasn't it? God fucking damn it. Of course it was. You love listening to me talk about music? Yeah. Unfortunately, like, only 8 of you do. You know, yeah, I've actually thought about starting a podcast, as in just me ranting about music I've listened to and genres I like. And I've come to realize that, one, the microphone I use is fucking broken, and it needs to have a lot of noise suppression put into it. And secondly, I do not have podcast voice. I have insane professor ranting at his students about the shit he likes talking about energy to my voice. So can't do the podcast. Also, what's up with the Subway Surfers gameplay? Why did it pause for a second? The fuck was that? Keep playing, motherfucker. You're the most important part of this stream. God damn. Okay, oh, I gotta end this. Okay, let's okay, let's talk about Pat Thomas and the Necks. These are the only 2 free jazz albums on my top 15 list. I think what I initially wanted to talk about was kind of where free jazz and free improv is at in 2025, because I feel like, because the fact that I have a video on free jazz of where is it? Here we go. Where the fuck is it? Here we go. I have a video on free jazz, and I don't know why, but I feel obligated to talk about free jazz all of a sudden, because I don't know how a fucking video about such a weird topic got 42,000 views on it, but it did. I'm quite surprised. It's way too niche a fucking genre for people to actually give a shit about, but whatever. I think that's really good too. You come off as an incredibly passionate about music. I'd watched the podcast. Yeah. You guys do also have to remember, this is me with a lot of caffeine at 2 a.m. in the morning, ranting about music like a madman. You should be happy, because a few hours ago I was thinking, I want a glass of Bailey's right now, and I realized just how bad an idea it is to mix all of that caffeine with alcohol and my medication while having to stream with sleep deprivation and having to talk to what is basically the public. horrible fucking combination. Like this could have gone so much worse, is what I'm trying to say. Um, yeah. Oh god, I'm already losing my train of thought. Let's talk about free jazz and free improvisation in 25, because I think, in comparison to most people, I probably am into free jazz and free improv um than most people. And I feel like this year has been a bit of a weak year for free improv. Because I know, or was it Orcut Shelley? Shit. Orcut. Oh, here we go. Orcut Shelley Miller. This was another. So I would say that out of all the albums, free jazz, free improv albums that released this year, it's really these four that has probably caught most people's ear. Disquiet is on most people's list for a good reason. It's a fucking fantastic album. The Nexus best album in a very, very long time. The Anna Hogberg album, I know it appeared on The Wire magazine's top 50 list. I know Audition also appeared on their list and a lot of people's list. And I know Orcut Shelley Miller was another one that appeared on quite a fair few people's list. I feel like this was a bit of a quiet year for free jazz in comparison to last year, but also you have to remember that last year Giant Beauty came out, and that basically took everyone's fucking attention. It was a bit of a quiet year for free improv, if I'm going to be real. I think Bill Orcutt's one interesting stuff, which was this. Orcut Shelley Miller. This is a really interesting three-way collaboration between Bill Orcutt, one of the greatest free improv guitarists of all time, Steve Shelley, who I think is the drummer of Sonic Youth, and Ethan Miller of Comets and Fire. Interesting album, interesting lineup. Oh shit. Sorry, guys, I can't fucking buy it. I like this album a lot. Except I guess I didn't like it enough to include it in my honorable mentions list or to talk about it. But I don't know. It was just not as exciting as what Orcut usually is, especially in comparison to last year's album. What is it called again? What am I doing? I'll just search it here. Bill Orcutt. How to Rescue Things. Here we go. The 3-hour playtime is what's stopping me from listening to the next. I need to make time for it. Yeah, the next. I'll tell you, the next. Listening to the next, right? I have gone to see the next live. What I'll say right now, right, is the next works so much better live. I mean, they really do, right? Because the 1 hour long runtime for a single song makes sense if you're seeing it unfold right in front of your eyes. But having to listen to it as an album is so fucking taxing, right? Because you aren't there. It's not as dynamic as seeing it live, right? As listening to it and seeing it live. Whoa, what is this? That's interesting, huh? Anyways. But yeah, that's kind of the problem with a lot of the Nexus. That is a lot of the problem. That is a problem with a lot of the Nexus stuff, is that it just works better if you're witnessing it live. And the nice part about Disquiet is that this is the first album they've made since, I would say, Silent Night, or maybe Athenaeum, Homebush, and Key and Rob. These two albums work as albums. Everything else just doesn't really work. It just doesn't really work outside of the free improv live setting. Disquiet feels like an actual attempt to make an album to make music that actually would sound good as an album. Yeah. But I will say it is a fucking commitment listening to the next. It really, really is. It's so fucking long. I mean, the best song on here, Ghostnet, is an hour long. Hold up, where is it? I didn't even fucking... Where is it? Oh, it's at the top. I forgot. I put it all the way at the top. Here we go. Oh wow, it's so long. It has started in the middle of it. Jesus fucking Christ, that's how long this album is. How long this song is. There are fucking albums that are that is like 1/4 as short as this fucking one song. Jesus Christ. But yeah, listening to the next is a fucking commitment. The moment you listen to the next, you really gotta fucking commit to it, because the moment you click on a song, you just have to listen to it all the way through, or else you're just not gonna get the whole experience. So yeah, I think that's enough of talking about the next. What was I talking about? Yeah, the state of free jazz, free improv this year. It's a very quiet year for free jazz and free improv, even though, and obviously, according to my list, the greatest top 15 albums of 2025 list, A Mountain Sees a Mountain by Pat Thomas and Hamid Drake was my favorite. And I think the reason why I preferred this Pat Thomas record to this other Pat Thomas record with is his pals. I think the name is Antoine, Joel, and Seymour Wright. Yes, that's the other 3 members in Ahmed other than Pat Thomas. The reason why I enjoyed A Mountain Sees a Mountain way more than Ahmed's audition is because it's so much more exciting, it's so much more rambunctious and loud and exciting and kind of mercurial as well. And I think that's because Audition is very much a studio effort. It was recorded in a studio. A Mountain Sees a Mountain is a live album recorded in 2019, but it's a live album, and because of that, once again, free improv just works better in a live setting. And I think something about this recording of this performance just works. It just works a lot. You hear every little like footstep that Pat Thomas kind of does as he's like playing the piano. You hear Hamid Drake kind of shifting his instruments during like in the middle of like a song. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, but the extra dopamine is keeping me here. Yeah. Honestly, that's a very good question. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Free jazz. That's what I'm talking about right now. It's 2 a.m. I'm so tired. It's 2 a.m. my time. If you're American or if you're European watching this, you're completely fine. I just sound like a insane man ranting on about free jazz. But yeah, this is my favorite free jazz album of the year. I wish I liked the Ansam Seglaren more, and same thing with Audition by Ahmed. But yeah. Oh, I'm so fucking tired. Anyways, we're at the end. We're towards the end, and I will go to sleep right after this because I'm so fucking tired. No amount of coffee can sustain this shit, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, changes to the list. Let's talk about changes to the list. Let's go to Topster. That's not Topster. Let's go to Topster, shall we? We shall just do this. This is just the wrong one. Okay, let's change some shit. These are the changes that I honestly, in hindsight, would make. I probably would remove Alamut by Laibach. I like this album a lot. I think Laibach's Alamut is really, really good. I love how grandiose it is. I love how large it is. I love how ambitious it is. I love how fucking complicated it is as well. It's layer. I like it. I like it a lot. But in hindsight, I probably would switch this out for Ahmed's Audition. I really would. I think in hindsight, I would just switch it out for Audition by Ahmed. This album, basically. It's not gonna fucking load, is it? Yeah, there we go. I would switch it out for Audition by Ahmed. Yeah, I think I just enjoyed this album more. Now that I think about it, I think if this was... Oh. Did you get to listen to Nourish by Time? Oh yeah, the Nourish by Time album. What is it called? Crap, what is it called? I'm trying to remember. Nourished by Time. What's the name of the album? I'm trying to remember. Bam. Passionate Ones, yes. Um no, I didn't. Unfortunately, I didn't get to it mainly because I listened to his first album, Erotic Probiotic 2, and I didn't enjoy it as most other people. I think it's just because it's I I don't know. This is another case just like the Okalu album or the Lost Through Tanaka album. Um or like the Lost Through Tanaka album that I just don't get it. You know? It's not a him problem. It's not a bad album. It's actually a really fantastic album. But maybe it's just that my taste kind of doesn't connect with the album, if that makes any sense. I think sometimes you recognize an album as fantastic, right? Let's just search it up here. Sometimes you recognize an album for what it is and it's fantastic, but you also just realize that it's just not for you. And I think that's how I feel about Nourished by Time, is that I think both these records are fantastic. It's just that I don't connect to it. So yeah, I don't blame Nourished by Time. I really don't. It's not a him problem, it's a me problem. You know? Unfortunately, just tastes in music just diverges. Yeah, it is what it is, I guess. Happens. Anyways, what am I talking about? Oh, I'm getting so sidetracked. Oh, right, yes, and another change I would actually make. I think I've already mentioned this earlier, but another change I would make with the actual list, with the top 15 list, is I would change out CC Valo for the Joe McPhee album. I'm Just Saying, which is one of my favorite free improv albums of the year. Which I say free improv, it's like half spoken word, half I guess experimental. Like experimental is the word you would describe this album in its full, right? Hi folks. Hello. I You guys might be wondering why I'm not reading your usernames. The reason why is because I've already explained this, but I have a TV as my second monitor and it's on the floor and it's very hard to read the names of people's usernames. Oh, it's so late at night. I really shouldn't be doing it, but hello, hi, welcome to the stream. I see people are streaming in. Haha. Which is such bad timing. Because this has been going on for an hour and a half. And I am so tired. And I'm ready to conk out. Anyways, the change I would make in my top 15 list is I would switch out CC Valo. Let's bring up the actual. I would switch out CC Valo by Mika Vainio, which is a fantastic album, an incredible album. But yeah, switch it out for Joe McPhee. Dude, please stay for a few minutes. I'll fucking stay because he asks so kindly. I will stay. What time is it? Let's see. Phone, come here. It's 2:13 in the morning. Oh, it's 2:13 in the morning. You know what's You know what's even greater is that last night last night I maybe got like 6 hours of sleep and I'm kind of running off that. I can hear the engine in my body sputtering. Okay, class. Do we have any questions about my list? If we have any questions or like comments about my stupid fucking like end of year list, do ask, because I'm very well. Oh, have I listened to Perverts by? Oh, we already talked about it earlier, but we can go back to it, no problem. Where is it? There you go. Perverts. Let's talk about Perverts again. Yeah, I think Perverts, right, as an album, between the two albums that Ethel Cain released this year, it's definitely the best, right? But if this was me 3 years ago, it would 100% be probably my top five in like top five albums of the year. But I think I've just gotten to the point where a lot of the drone, or I guess a lot of drone music, ambient music mixed with not spoken word, weird, acts like Grouper or Tim Hecker and Sun, I guess doesn't. I guess I'm just in a phase of my music journey where I've just kind of grown tired of it. It's not Ethel Cain's fault because it's a fantastic record. It's just that where this album has hit in my little music journey has just kind of come at a bad time. But if this was 3 years ago, honest to God, if this was 3 years ago, Perverts would be top five easily. But I'm just in a spot in my little journey where it's just, yeah. When do I usually sleep? I find it hard to relate because I sleep at 5 a.m. usually. That is crazy. You sleep at 5 a.m.? Jesus Christ, dude. That's crazy. Um, that's interesting. I've been getting more and more into drone and weird, intimate collage these last few months. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that's what's great though about exploring music is that sometimes you find albums that just happens to hit at the right time as where you are right now in like exploring music. Um for example, right? A good example for me this year was the I'm trying to think of an album right here. It's the I'm going blank. It's so late at night. The Nina Girachi album. Jesus fucking Christ. The Nina Girachi album. The Nina Girachi album came at me the perfect time because recently I've been going back to my roots. Okay, I've been going back to listening to anime opening music and nightcore remixes and the dog shit EDM I listened to when I was a kid, and it came at the right time. Nina Girachi's "I Love My Computer" because it just fit into all of that. That's the fun thing about finding new albums is that depending where you are in your musical journey, sometimes you come across an album that just makes sense. And I'm very happy that Perverts kind of came to you at a right moment when you were exploring all these new sounds. Very happy for you. It's always nice when you find an album like that, you know? What are my thoughts on Live, Laugh, Love? That and... Oh shit. What is that? Oh, I really gotta like crouch down and read. Squeeze album. Oh. I don't know this. I don't know what. Oh, I'm so tired. Fucking hell. Okay, let's just talk about the Earl Sweatshirt album. I liked it. No, I loved it a lot. I just. Oh, I liked it a lot. Yeah, but I would say if my actual list wasn't a top 15, if it was a top 20 list, it would be 20 probably. I liked it a lot. I love how intimate it is. I love how warm it is. Um, oh, the song Tourmaline Towers just breaks my heart every time I listen to it for some reason. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's incredible. I like Live, Laugh, Love a lot. It's it's a nice little it's a nice little detour exploration. Not exploration. I guess it's a much more positive side of Earl Sweatshirt that we've never really seen before. I think he had he had an interview with a New York Times podcast discussing the album, and he was talking about how it was, I think, the birth of his son and him like completely going sober that basically kind of guided the general atmosphere of this record, and you can absolutely tell all across this record. um you didn't listen to video game and anime music for about 10 years at this point. You might have a new look on that shit. Yeah, I recommend listening to, if you haven't listened to Nina Girachi's Nina Girachi's I Love My Computer. That album feels like unlocking memories you fucking buried deep down. Because it did for me, at least. That was kind of the main problem with I Love My Computer by Nina Girachi. Let's just play it. Nina Girachi. That was kind of the main problem with I Love My Computer, is that it unlocked too many stupid memories. And that's why it couldn't be any higher than 6. Squee was like shit gaze and noise rock. Hold up. Let's just fucking... Squee. Is this how you... Aha. I see. Hello. Whoa. Huh. Let's save it. Wait, is this the right one? I don't think it is. Is it? Shit gaze. What the fuck is shit gaze? Is it LP2? Whatever, we'll just save it. Why not? Maybe it's LP2. Maybe it's CC's version. I'll listen to both of them. It looks weird. Why not? We shall listen to it later. Oh, okay. Oh god, I'm slowly missing. Oh. You didn't get the Nina Girachi's album, but you see a lot of... Yeah. I recommend listening to the Nina Girachi album. At least if you were like me and you grew up a nerd who watched a lot of anime and played Osu, listening to Nina Girachi's I Love My Computer is a bit of an experience, I'll say that. What's my favorite shoegaze band, or just a recommendation? Shoegaze. I mean, I guess My Bloody Valentine. I've never really thought about that. What is my favorite shoegaze album band? I mean, strictly from, I guess, like a performance standpoint, I guess it would have to be My Bloody Valentine. Yeah. As for like shoegaze bands, does University count? I don't know if University counts, but there is a lot of Versity. This album, their album McCartney, I'll Be Okay, It'll Be Okay, has a lot of shoegaze elements to it, but it's not strictly shoegaze. It's more noise rock, really, if anything. CC version is a different mix with I believe 2 additional songs. The vocals are also a little clearer and easier. Ooh, I see. Well, I shall listen to it at some point in the future. It's saved in my thing, so I shall listen to Squee. I am a little bit interested. I am kind of interested in it. I can only imagine how you found this album, if I'm gonna be completely honest. I mean, it has to be Bandcamp doom scrolling or SoundCloud doom scrolling, because that's how I find a lot of my favorite albums of any given year. It's just a lot of just doom scrolling at Bandcamp. What time is it? I just keep looking at a clock because I just need to know what time it is. Do you know AZ? Oh god. Oh, it's such a bad idea. I will say right now, okay? If you are ever planning, if any of you on the off chance are ever planning to stream, do not use a TV on your floor as your second monitor, because it is creating some major chiropractic issues. My fucking neck is in pain. I genuinely, what I have to do is kind of lean my TV back. Maybe I should do that. Okay, give me a sec. If you hear me squeal because I dropped the TV on the floor, you will hear it. Oh shit. Does that work? Okay. I'm not gonna lie, this TV isn't even mine. It's this TV isn't mine. It's my dad's old TV. So if I break it, well, I'll have to talk to my dad about that eventually, I guess, if I break this TV. Okay, sorry. Do I know AZ by 23WA? Epic collage, noise, ambient rap, pop from France. Whoa. What's this album? Got a 23... What? WA? What the fuck? AZ. What the fuck is this? Hold on a sec. What the fuck? Interesting. Well, that's saved. No, I do not know AZ. Just to answer your question, no, I don't. Interesting. Another, yeah, interesting. Oh, speaking of interesting records I've come across, I came across this record by Hey Nile and Adriana Yaroslava Sainko, fucking, it's Russian, called Hildegard, which is actually genuinely, basically, what this album is by Larum. On my favorite albums, top 15 albums, I had this album, The Music of Hildegard von Bingen Part 2, on here, top 13, because I love Larum. I love Larum a lot. And I came across this record that was also released in 2025, which also explores the music of Hildegard von Bingen. What a coincidence. Huge coincidence. Didn't know that there were two separate acts exploring Hildegard von Bingen's music, but yeah. What do I think of Oniatrix Point? What Never's Tranquilizer? Fuck, I forgot that album came out. I guess that's my thoughts on it. Oh no, it's a good album. I is it it's not that ONP has never made an album I didn't like, but it's just that I think he just doesn't. I think it's just that he appeals to a different crowd than me, because because yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to describe my thoughts on Tranquilizer. Maybe I'd probably be able to describe it if it wasn't 2:30 in the fucking morning. I yeah. Just fucking kill me already. I Okay. What I'll say is that I've listened to it once. When around the time it came out, I think I was doing my laundry while listening to it, and if I'm gonna be honest, it would be very disingenuous of me to give any coherent any thoughts on it really, because it'd be very disingenuous of me. I think I'd be just bullshitting out of my ass. But from what I remember, I enjoyed it. But I guess I didn't enjoy it enough to actually listen to it again. I don't know, dude. I'm just a normal human being. There's only so many albums one man can listen to a year, which is why, once again, it's absurd. It is absolutely absurd when people have like 50, 100 albums on their on their end of year list, because who the fuck, as a normal human being that isn't professionally listening to records, who the fuck has enough to put 100 albums? Are you insane? Whatever. That's a whole different thing. 35 albums in total is on my actual list. Have you heard? Have you heard the? Oh God, I'm not even going to try to say that name, or Lost to Tanaka. We talked about Lost to Tanaka way early into the stream. Um, we did talk about it. About the fact that I didn't include it in my year-end list. Um, yeah, Lost to Tanaka. Lost to Tanaka. Um, Lost to Tanaka. I remember I said earlier in the stream that I think it's just that I didn't get it. It's not that it's a bad album, but the thing about Lost to Tanaka is that I guess I just don't get it, right? Because I like the album a lot, and I really should. I think I just don't get it. Maybe it's just. I was about to say it's a generational thing. It's not. I'm 24. It's not a generational thing. It appeals to my age group and my people in general. But yeah. But yeah. I think it's a great album. It's just not for me, I guess is what I'm saying. Um you have 66 albums in your annual list? Holy shit. 66. What the fuck? You listen to, damn. Oh, Oisin, by the way, I've angled my TV in a way where I can actually see the chat names now. It's not a great angle, but the TV is basically one like wrong step away from just falling down on its face. Um, damn, 66 albums. You listen to 2, 3 albums a week? Yeah, kind of like, yeah, I kind of also do that. I see what's the difference between 203rd, 204th. Yeah, at some point, I think if you make your list too big, I think beyond 70, beyond 100, that's where it gets too much, right? If you're the quietest, if you're Pitchfork, if you're here, the quietest, Jesus fucking Christ, the quietest. Here you go. If you are the quietest, a proper, honest to God music magazine, um, that actually has a bunch of reviews, it is completely understandable if you have 100 albums to go through. You know, like that is completely understandable. But if you're just one dude alone making 100 albums list, that is just fucking excessive. Anyways, um, oh, the Lost to Tanaka album touched you from the future and deep past. Yeah, I know. From what I recall, I was reading a few reviews about it, and apparently it deals with topics of, was it colonization and gentrification in, I forgot where this was created, but from what I know, Lost to Tanaka actually dealt with a lot of topics that unfortunately I'm not familiar with. And sometimes you listen to an album and you realize it really wasn't made for you, and I think Lost to Tanaka is just that. Do I play Overwatch? I do play Overwatch. I am a huge fan of Overwatch. You are right now talking to a high diamond master support player who can only play Kiriko. Um, I'm a big fan of Overwatch, and I'm a big fan of Overwatch esports. Um, Massive fan. I've been playing this game for God knows how long. Um, listing them all to me is not a question of making a complete top, but being able to kind of rank them. It's not that serious, more of a way to know myself. And yeah, that's actually probably what most people should do when creating a best of albums list in a given year, is basically kind of collating your thoughts on where on the albums you listen to in a given year. You know, I think that's what top albums are good for. Also, yes, The Quietest did put Hexed as their favorite album. I think if I recall, it wasn't The Quietest. The Wire magazine also had Hexed as by Aya as their favorite albums of this year. Yeah. Dude, exhaustive lists like The Quietest is cool as fuck. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I look at an album like a list like this with 100 albums on it. All I can think is I kind of want to listen to all of them, but I think I would have a fucking brain aneurysm trying to actually listen to all of them. I'm not gonna lie. Also, if anyone would like to talk about my interest and love of Overwatch, you are more than welcome to actually talk about it and ask. I mean, I'll play a game of Ranked right now if you want. No, I won't. It's too much. I'm too tired. Yeah, no, but big, long, dense lists like The Quietest is I think really, really cool. I'm not gonna lie. I wish I could make something as cool as this. These New Puritans album was cool. I liked it. Sort of, maybe. Okay. Hand to heart. Fucking, I listened to half of the album. Let's put it on in the background. Fuck, I don't know how to type. Retype. These New Puritans. I listened to like half the album. Quite a while ago, so I unfortunately won't be able to. I won't be able to tell you my full thoughts on it. Yeah, but it is a cool album. Yeah, let's play some Time I'm a Tank main. That's cool, man. You main Reinhardt? No. Let me guess. I'm gonna do some telepathy shit. Telepathy, clairvoyant shit. You are a. Diva main. You probably are a Reinhardt main. I'm just playing the odds here. Yeah. Not sure what else to talk about. God damn. This stream is almost 2 hours long? Holy fuck. Wow, I'm very surprised by myself that I'm 10 minutes away to 2 hours. Damn. I might be the sleepiest man alive right now. I don't know if I'm even making coherent sense. I don't even know if I'm coherent right now. Okay. If anyone, if anyone has any more questions or things you want to talk about my list or anyone's list, feel free. I guess I'll just say some parting words before I go. I'm not gonna go now unless people do want to ask something. But yeah. Diva's the best character, but I like Hamster and Roadhog mostly. But I try to play all tanks fairly evenly. Damn! Ball and Hog? The Hog and Ball torture? Damn, dude. Go to sleep, little baby? Yeah. Diva is very strong right now, by the way. Diva is very, 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 Do I have a Discord or social? I do not have a Discord, but I do indeed have a socials on all my stuff. Where is it live? Oh, it's not playing sound. Here you go. That's all my social media. I unfortunately do not use social media as much as I would like to, if I'm gonna be honest. Okay. Yes, Hog and Ball Torture. Hog and Ball Torture. I don't know if you were around during Overwatch League when an actual Overwatch meta was called Hog and Ball Torture. It was very torturous to play against, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, let's do ending thoughts before I go to sleep and crash in bed. Okay, I'm gonna be completely honest. Usually, my idea of a good end of year list is one which is made which was made well after a year has ended, right? I think of any good self-respecting list of be it an album or a film or about TV shows or books should be made at least 3 months after the year has actually ended. But unfortunately, due to the way the algorithms and basic human reader attention economy basically works, is that you kind of have to get it up at the 1st of December, which means unfortunately the list that you watch in this video right here is not complete technically. Yeah, it's not complete. I wish it was by the 1st of December, but it isn't. It just inherently cannot be. And I think just in general, most best of list in any given year is just never really concrete. And I don't think it should be, because sometimes 5 years from now I'll probably find an album that that I'm floored by and just so happens to be released in 2025. Yeah. What time is it over where I am? 2:38 in the morning. But yeah. This is not concrete. This is not final. Yeah. I should do a 2025 revisited video. I will do that in 5 years. I've been thinking about, actually, weirdly enough, I've been thinking about doing a best of 2010s list, the best albums of the 2010s decade list, like next year. But yeah. But unfortunately, I don't know if anyone would care about such a list or such a video. Like more than 5 years after the 2010s has finished up. But yeah. But making a revisited video actually is not a bad idea. I'm gonna write a note about that. It would not actually be a horrible idea, because so much music gets released on a day-to-day basis. I may or may not have a video about how much music comes out on a daily basis, but that's besides the point. So much music comes out, and there is bound to be an album out there that you've never heard of that you'll listen to in 5 years and it'll blow your mind and it'll end up in your top five. So none of my list or anything in this video is concrete, you know? But yeah. 25 for you was too much shoegaze and alt country, but amazing year for Spanish language music. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm not gonna lie. Ames Bonda, we might troll different music communities. I'm not gonna lie. we definitely do troll different communities. Sometimes I find it interesting when people comment about music, and I feel so out of place to talk about it because all I can think is, man, when people talk about pop, I just kind of blank and I go, I don't get what you're talking about. So yeah. I think, but I find it very interesting sometimes. Here, when people talk about music, I like hearing people talk about little like bubbles of music that they're actually in, because I have my little bubble of music that I'm in, and it's mostly music that gets reviewed on The Quietus, or Wire Magazine, or Pitchfork, right? And I just never really explored the zeitgeist, if I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, drop a true 3 month list 3 months from now. A true list. I will. I might. I'll think about it. I actually might. Dijon's Baby Mentioned Anywhere. Okay, now that is an album I never got around to listening to, but I know Pitchfork. Let's bring up Pitchfork. Pitchfork. I know Pitchfork really, really, really praised it this year. Okay, Pitchfork. Damn. 25. I don't know how to type, by the way, apparently. Fuck Pitchfork, it's so good. They glazed the album, though. They gave it number 2, if I recall. They did, yeah. I remember. I never got around to listening to it. I wish I did, now that I think about it. Once again, that's what I was talking about. Unfortunately, a year is... There's only so much time in a single year. And you just can't listen to everything you want to, and I guess this is one of those albums. I like Absolutely. Who is that released by? Absolutely. I presume that's the name of the album, right? I'm gonna say no. I don't know Absolutely. I would check it out though. I mean, I look at Pitchfork's list, all I can think is don't think I've listened to like 1/3 of this list, yeah. Oh, by Dijon. No, I have not. No, I have not. Listen, I've honestly, looking at when I first saw Pitchfork's review on Dijon's Baby, that was the first time I've ever heard of Dijon. Never heard of him anywhere else. Which probably tells you a lot about the little music bubble that I am in. So yeah. Yeah. But Absolutely and Baby by Dijon are really good. Definitely cult fan. Yeah. Oh yeah. What's a music fear that you'd consider yourself in? The music sphere. Here, I'll show you this. The Quietus, basically this website, The Quietus, anything that The Quietus, Pitchfork, or The Wire Magazine. Okay, can you tell I was looking at what your year-end list? Basically, whatever these 3 publications talks about in reviews is basically the sphere I am in. And that probably explains my list, if I'm gonna be honest, because it here, let me describe you. I found Sisivalo through I think it was Ian Cohen's review on Pitchfork about it. I found out about 45 pounds, I think, through Quietus review. I found out about Shirome through a Quietus review. I found out about McCartney, It'll Be Okay, through a Quietus review. Yeah, that is the music sphere I hang out in. music publications, because I unfortunately graduated university with a bachelor's in journalism, which just naturally means I just gravitate towards journalism websites. Yeah. Album of the Year has a really good underrated tab. They do? Damn, that's interesting. It's albums with 20 to 100 reviews. Huh. I unfortunately don't use Album of the Year or Rate Your Music. I find websites like those. I find websites like Rate Your Music or Album of the Year to just kind of gamify the act of listening to music, which I don't really like, but that's a whole different thing, you know? Are you putting your list anywhere? I think I should post it, shouldn't I? Yeah, I think I'll post the full list, but I guess if you want to see the actual list, go watch this video. The best albums of 2025. That's where the full list is. It's funny because you consider your taste to be adjacent to those websites too, but your taste is completely different to yours. Yeah, I think that's kind of the fun of looking at other people's lists, and because even if you trawl and are kind of in the same spheres, eventually you will always have an album or two or three or 10 that is completely unlike that person's list, right? And I think that in itself says a lot about who you are as a person and the music you gravitate towards, right? Yeah. Because, I could be like, oh yeah, I read The Quietest every day, but there's a lot of albums on here that is just not on The Quietest's list because it's just things that I like, It's like the only reason why Sapiki is on here is because I fuck with vernacular music, Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. It rewards half. Oh, you're talking about RYM. Yeah. Oh my god. 2 hours. Okay. Ha! It's almost 3 a.m. Okay, everyone. I will actually end this for real. We shall start this the way it started. Geese. We shall start it the way this entire stream has started. Shitting all over Geese. Thank you everyone for pulling up to the inaugural live stream thing. As you can tell, unfortunately, I live in a horrible part of the world timing wise, considering I think the statistic is 70% of my audience is based in America, which means that whenever I want to live stream, it would be at a horrible time for me, right? And unfortunately, according to my statistics, most of you are online, are on YouTube, basically around 1 to 4 a.m. my time, which is horrible. But it's okay, because I actually quite like doing this. This was actually very fun. As for whether I'm going to be doing this again, there is a good chance that I will. I actually really enjoyed this. You should include short about Geese. Anthony Fantano made a short about Geese. Now, surely we gotta fucking look at this. Okay, I lied. We're not ending the stream yet. We gotta find this short. Is it this? Fuck! It's muted.
Is number 4, The Stooges. Geese recently did a live set that contained numerous Stooges songs. Number 3.
What the fuck?
Car Seat Headrest is a band you should get into if you are into Geese. Teens of Denial is a great lo-fi indie rock record with expressive vocals. Number 2, Sunset Rubdown.
What the fuck am I watching?
You should get into if you are into Geese. With
Thank you, Anthony Fantano.
Indie rock, Sunset Rubdown is a band you might enjoy if you are into Geese. And number 1.
Should I be high watching this? I feel like you need to be absolutely zooted. You need to be geeked out of your mind to actually enjoy the short, Can you tell? I just don't watch short content. That's a great video. I'm not gonna. That's a great shit post. I missed that as the plan. Every day I mourn for that is the plan. Okay, what am I doing? Yes, we shall start.
Here are the top.
What? We shall end this video the way it started, shitting all over Geese. So yeah. Oh fuck, that's kind of loud actually. Okay, everyone. So thank you so much for pulling up to the live stream. I will be doing this again at some point in the future. I really, 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 really enjoyed it. Overall, even though we didn't even crack 20 viewers, and sometimes it kind of felt like I was talking to the brick wall. That's fine, because I like ranting about stuff, and it doesn't really matter if people are here or not to hear it. Why is Geese a big meme? I don't know, dude. I'm not online to know this shit. I'm gonna keep it real. I really don't know. All I know is that I got a lot of like slightly ticked off comments about why Geese wasn't in my actual top 15 list. I got a lot of comments, like a surprising amount of comments about why Geese isn't in my top 15, to the point where I've come to realize that they actually have quite the online following, to the point where someone genuinely commented that they were glad that I didn't include them in my actual list, which is fucking nuts, by the way. If people are thanking you for not including it. Okay, whatever. We're ending this stream. I'm so tired. Thank you everyone for pulling up. Hold up. We shall end the stream right on camera. Okay, bye-bye everyone. Bye. Bye-bye.